Americans do remain divided on the issue of laws covering gun sales. A recent CBS News poll found 54% of Americans want stricter laws covering the sale of guns. 30% say that keep them as they are now. 16% want to see less strict rules. Another topic brought up a lot when it comes to curbing gun violence, of course, our community gun buyback programs. Our Brian Moss live tonight working on this story for you. And Brian, you've been looking to see if they actually make a difference.
Karen, with the events in Texas and the recent Buffalo grocery store shooting, a lot of people are thinking of ways to reduce gun violence, to get guns off the streets. And as you mentioned, gun buyback programs are popular. There was one held here at this church in Denver just last weekend. 50 firearms were collected. But we wanted to take a look at how effective these gun buyback programs are. Just 4 days ago, the cities of Denver and Aurora and the Denver Broncos sponsored another in a series of gun buyback events. Turning in a pistol was worth $150, an assault-style rifle, $250.
So what we're hoping to do is reduce the availability of guns that could be stolen that aren't stored properly.
Curtis Gardner is an Aurora City councilman, a gun owner, and a Republican who is pushing these gun buybacks. The firearms are immediately converted into garden tools. But he's realistic about this strategy.
A gun buyback or a series of gun buyback events by itself is not going to solve gun violence.
Indeed, research shows these events are ineffective in reducing gun violence. They collect only a relatively small number of weapons. The people who turn in the weapons are usually unlikely to commit crimes, and many of the guns turned in may be old and outdated. Gardner is well aware of the downside, but looks at these events from a different angle.
We're reducing the availability of guns that can be stolen and used in crimes in the future.
They're very true unintended consequences.
Leslie Hollywood runs this gun rights advocacy group and suggests these events could be making things worse, with criminals turning in outdated guns and using the cash to buy newer weapons.
Is there a solution in this that's actually making things better, or are we actually just putting more guns and better guns on the street? I have serious concerns that these gun buybacks are actually making them worse.
But with scenes like this repeated so often, gun buybacks probably aren't going away. Gardner says at one of his recent buybacks, a 13-year-old boy turned in 2 guns that he found on the ground when he was riding his bike past a middle school. Now these cooperative gun buyback programs between Denver and Aurora will continue. There will be 5 more events between now and October, the next one coming next month in June. Reporting live in Denver, I'm Brian Moss, covering Colorado First.